was that a little thing like that made it the significant delays, as it turned out in a case like this, that it became a crisis. And it was really a non-issue. Once he was settled away, he forgot about the cigarettes. It just was a non-issue. But these are system issues. The whole issue of using deception to say that justified. And so there are these ethical quandaries that the wife would struggle with, and the dilemma between her and the son. Then there's also spiritual issues. Where's the pastoral care community in their lives? Where is that happening? How could it happen? How could some of these issues be both recognized and supported? The big question is, why is this happening to me? Why are bad things happening? How do I find meaning and hope in the midst of this? And then finally, the last stage that raises kind of end-of-life issues that have to do with this principle of human limitation and how much is too much to do, when is it too little that's actually disrespectful. This whole issue of removing something like a pacemaker, is that extraordinary care? And can you justify that using something like the principle of double effect, which this doesn't get into, but these are ways that and tools we bring to help decide these issues. And the big issue in the background on the spiritual level is actually preparing to die and actually caring for someone well at the end of life. And again, the framework hopefully would at least continue to insist that Dr. S is still Dr. S, that he is not lost his personhood. And there are lots of practical things that follow from that in terms of how we care for people. So, just by way of conclusion, the statement says that life with a progressive cognitive impairment is a life that has changed but not ended. And that despite losses, persons with progressive cognitive impairments can be held to lead better and richer lives. And this was actually, I think, a very important message, that one of the reasons that the Germans did not want to use the term dementia was the way it translated was utter hopelessness. And that's how it's regarded. And for people to say that actually somebody could have a pretty good life to the end with a condition like this is very hard for people to believe. And I think it is very important that there be some place in our world where that can be demonstrated, that this can in fact happen. And it does happen. But to do so, one requires attention to the ethical and spiritual dimension of care, which I think is actually lacking. That these issues are not recognized, and even if recognized, are not. There's not a lot of attention being paid. There's not even a lot of attention being paid to sort of biological research. So I think as a Catholic community that is animated by faith, belief in the dignity, unity, identity of the person with progressive cognitive impairments, animated by hope that decline, disability, suffering, and death are not ultimately meaningless, and animated by charity manifested in self-giving service and support of people with progressive cognitive impairments and their families, those who care for them, that we can make a positive difference in the lives of persons with progressive cognitive impairments and their caregivers.